Every week, we look at the previous weekend and we give a gold medal, a silver medal, a bronze medal, and someone is off the podium to the 4 teams from the state of North Carolina that are in the ACC. Not everybody gets a trophy. You got to earn your way up the podium. Off the podium, UNC. This is by default. You had a bye.
They didn't play.
You had a bye, so you couldn't win by much. And the only way you were going to end up on the podium is if someone else really stunk and there wasn't that happening. Which, by the way, thank you to the teams that didn't really stink, because we needed some positive football in the state of North Carolina. I did see this. Just side note, I saw someone arguing it. I don't think it adds up. Have you seen, there's this viral clip or viral picture of an old Auburn running back field with the running backs, and it was Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, and Brandon Jacobs. And somebody said, like, find me a more talented backfield than this 3. And of course, there's a few of the Alabama, when it was like Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, Yeldon. But there's also this. UNC was about 1 year away. Somebody said, wasn't there a year where it was Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Omarion Hampton, and British Brooks? I don't think Omarion Hampton and the Javonte and Michael Carter overlapped. I think it was as those guys went pro, Omarion came in the next year.
Yeah, he came in right after.
So it's not quite there, but you were almost there. So, I saw the people making the argument on Twitter. I want to say I like your spirit. Just having Michael Carter and Javonte Williams was awesome. Just having Omarion Hampton, awesome. But I don't think they overlapped, not even as like a redshirt year. But I will say this. UNC gets a lot of flack for not really doing anything on the national scale with 3 years of Sam Howell followed by 2 years of Drake May. What about not doing anything on the national scale, having 3 years of Javonte Williams and Michael Carter followed up by 3 years of Omarion Hampton? Got some NFL running backs on that squad that are just NFL running backs on that squad, right? That's how they'll be remembered.
Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, they were both drafted in 2021. First year for Omarion Hampton was 2022. So it was like a little break right there.
Yowzers.
Yeah.
Yowzers. Anyway, that's off the podium. Let's get to the bronze, which is Wake Forest. 23-20 win at UConn. It's a good win for Wake. They were not favored in the game. UConn is, as we had to figure out earlier, they are above 500. So give Wake credit. Hank Bachmeier made some things happen. What was it? Damon Claiborne with 2 rushing touchdowns. Mm-hmm. It was a game where I don't know if anyone, Taylor Morin maybe had a 100-yard receiving day, but I don't know if there was many people on Wake Forest that played their best game, but some of the parts was good enough to get the win over a team that maybe not the biggest, baddest bully on the block, but not a pushover. We had the caller earlier explain that I guess UConn's coach was upset with referees' calls at the end of the game. 23-20, right? 23-20. I love that too. And people are like, was it a hold? I don't know. Was it called a hold? Was it a pass interference? I don't know. Was it called? If it wasn't called, it wasn't. So there you go. Take that. Wake Forest gets the win, gets the bronze. I will say this, difficult to choose between silver and gold. Sometimes these podiums write themselves. Sometimes they're a little bit more difficult. Silver and gold was difficult. Silver goes to NC State. Come from behind, 24-23 win at Cal. You were a double-digit underdog. Really needed it to get towards bowl eligibility. Fell behind, right down double digits in the fourth quarter. Won anyway. Found what I believe is the next step for your quarterback, freshman quarterback CJ Bailey. There's a lot of good there. I think it's the most kind of impressive individual win. It's just the stakes meant so much more for Duke, which is why Duke ends up gold. We'll get to that in a second. Let's hear from Dave Doeren, though, head coach of NC State, on what he's seeing from his quarterback, CJ Bailey.
Yeah, he doesn't flinch. He believes in himself. He believes in his teammates. He believes in his coaches. He stays positive. And he's just got that it factor when it comes to how he manages things and overcomes. Even when he makes a bad play, it doesn't rattle him. And it's tough. I mean, he's going to be a hell of a player, and he's tough. And even in the first half, I mean, he was 11 of 13. We didn't have a lot of points, but he was doing a good job. and getting used to what they were doing on defense. And that's a good defense. I mean, they're only giving up 17 points a game. One of the top defenses in the country with takeaways, and I thought CJ really played well today.
I thought he really played well also. I think that's the thing you walk away with. A win, and CJ Bailey's a dude. Now you rally around him, you build your offense around him, and you see what you can't have moving forward. And then Duke gets the gold. 23-16 win over Florida State at home. A few things about this. Congratulations to Duke, you're bowl eligible. I made it, again, we've already adjusted the actual expectations for this year, but preseason I said it is bowl eligibility or bust for Duke. They got it in their first 7 games. That deserves credit. Also, they won a game against Florida State.
Yeah.
Duke had never done that.
Never.
Ever.
That's literal.
They were 0-22 in their school's history at football against Florida State. They are now 1-22. Is it equal? No, but it's one step in the right direction. You won. Let's go ahead and cut the music here. There's the podium, but let's keep talking about this Duke-Florida State game a little bit here. Was it pretty?
No.
No. Duke was ahead 17-3, and the gap closed all the way to 20-16. But I seriously want to ask, are we really going to nitpick a win for Duke over a team that was 22-0 over them in history? The defense was awesome. The defense forced a turnover on 3 consecutive plays in the first half. That is hilarious. That is like borderline ruining the rhythm of your own defense. You go out there, get a pick 6. All right, cool. Defense gets to go right back out right after the kickoff. They go out there, fumble recovery. All right, you go back out for the next possession. Let's go. Interception. First play. Bing, bing, bing. 3 consecutive plays. That is absurd. Malik Murphy threw for 70 yards. 70. The entire offense was essentially one 44-yard run by Star Thomas. That was like the long and short of it. Jordan Moore, who I think is one of the best wide receivers in the conference, had 1 catch for 10 yards. But it was enough to win. And guess what? This is like my American history thing, right? The winners write the histories. The winners write the histories. So, yes, it was an ugly game for Duke, but they beat Florida State, and they get to enjoy that. And they're bowl eligible, and they get to enjoy that. And now they are what I consider 2 wins away from saying they did not take a single step back when Mike Elko and Riley Leonard left the program. And if they want to go ahead and win one of the next 2 against number 22 in the country, SMU, or number 6 in the country, Miami, on the road, then I think it's fair to say you've taken a step forward from where Mike Elko and Riley Leonard left the program. And you still have at State versus Virginia Tech at Wake Forest to close it out. There could be a special season here for Duke. And again, we talked about it with CJ Bailey at State. We talk about it in college sports. Then it becomes about building off of it, keeping everyone together. How quickly does Manny Diaz start getting eyes for other programs? How quickly does Malik Murphy? But in the meantime, you don't worry about that. In the meantime, right now, you enjoy bowl eligibility through 7 games for Duke football. Right? We had the caller call in and said, I remember in 2007 when Duke was happy just to get a win. And I believe they finished that season with 1 win. It was over Northwestern. You've come a long way since then. And the mark of a really, really good program is dealing with change, dealing with turnover from year to year, and not taking that step back. So give Duke credit. I don't know if it was the best win in the world, but with the stakes, with the history, with the schneid you were trying to get off of against Florida State, with the intimidation and everything else, I give them a lot of credit.
Hey, got the job done.
A win is a win is a win.
Yep.
You're going to have to play better the next 2 if you want to get a chance at it.
Well, there's that.
But you have the chance, so go do it.
I'll be at the Duke game on Saturday, and I'm intrigued to see how they play against SMU because SMU, by all accounts, is cooking right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, and SMU has a little pop to their game as well.
Yeah, this is going to be their toughest test.
Yes, for sure. And they're nationally ranked, and there's a bunch going on there. They don't throw the ball as well as I was assuming that they would. Everybody was very excited about telling me about their quarterbacks at ACC kickoff, right? Because we're learning about SMU, Stanford, and Cal, as ACC teams, right? We knew them as casual fans that just watch sports. But everyone was excited about their quarterbacks. Turns out they're a running team. Third in the ACC and running the football. So Duke's defense is going to have to step up and stop that.
Hey, Saturday's game might just take 2 hours.
SMU averages points per game 40.7.
Woo!
Duke points per game 25.9. But I'll also give them this: Duke's points allowed 17.
Yeah, they're good.
So think about that as far as like immovable object and unstoppable force. SMU averages 40.7 points per game. The Duke defense gives up 17 points per game. That's the SMU offense is fourth in the ACC. Duke's defense is first in the ACC. Duke defense better show up.